Who doesn't love a good old film that stars both Simon Pegg and Nick Frost? Well, I do, for one thing, and I'm sure the same goes for a lot of you. And, yeah, one of the most notable things that both Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have done in the world of movies is the Cornetto trilogy. And the Cornetto trilogy, starting off with Shaun of the Dead, and then we had Hot Fuzz and World's End. Yeah. And the fact that those three movies, centering on, different subjects and so on, like what is the main plot of those three films in the Cornetto trilogy. Shaun of the Dead, centering on the zombies. Hot Fuzz, centering on police. And World's End, centering on aliens. Not to mention that each of these characters getting cornettos, and, hence this trilogy being referred to as the Cornetto trilogy, because the cornettos that they get, and the wrapping and packaging, because in Shaun of the Dead, it's red for blood. In Hot Fuzz, it's blue for police, and in World's End, it's green for aliens. So, yes, but the point being is that, yes, for the next CinemaSins video that I'm reacting to, and of course you're watching it, CinemaSins finally covering/sinning Hot Fuzz. Yes, one of the three films in the Cornetto trilogy. And, yeah, I gotta say, because having seen the Cornetto trilogy and, yeah, Hot Fuzz, man, because, yeah, I remember, I think one of the first times I fully watched it was with my mom, and, yeah, because both me and my mom, we enjoyed it. I know, I do remember her reacting to some of the gruesome stuff that's in Hot Fuzz, just, and the fact that even long before I had seen Hot Fuzz itself, I had seen the Nostalgia Critic video, the series of videos of What You Never Knew. So, one of them centering on Hot Fuzz, the fun facts that, a lot of us didn't know about Hot Fuzz, and yeah, when Doug made a video about it, so yeah. In fact, Hot Fuzz, while we're on the subject of Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, Hot Fuzz is one of his top favorite comedy films, yeah. But yeah, because overall, I know that it's it's in his top favorite movies, and, being one of those movies that's hilarious and such. Yeah. And by the way, because more on, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, because, other pieces of films that they've done outside of, having done the Cornetto trilogy, well, there's most notably Paul. Now, I'm sure a lot of you, of course, know what Paul is. And, yeah, Paul being one of my top favorite movies, yeah, I had a good feeling that when the first time I was going to watch it, I was more likely going to enjoy it. And sure enough, I did. And now, it being in my top favorite all-time favorite movies. So, yeah. But yeah, so with Hot Fuzz itself, well, I have no doubt that CinemaSins themselves, they have the love and respect for this movie. Not to mention that there have been a good chunk of times where they, would use audio clips or something of Hot Fuzz for the audio outtake / after credits. I can think of most notably when they covered /sinned The Incredibles. One of the audio outtakes / after credits was Frozone. We are talking about the greater good, and playing a clip from Hot Fuzz. I can speak for the greater good. The greater good. If you know, you know. Just, yeah. And if any of you, of course, have seen the CinemaSins video of The Incredibles. But, yeah. By the way, let me take a quick drink of water to clear my throat, because, yeah. But, yeah, so, you never know. You can never tell when it comes to CinemaSins, if they're going to remove a sin or two. And as I said, clearly, because they have a lot of love and respect for Hot Fuzz. But I myself especially am about to find out what is going to go down for them covering /sinning one of the three films in the Cornetto trilogy, Hot Fuzz. But yeah. So, without further ado, let us see what CinemaSins has to say /sin on Hot Fuzz. Yeah, brightness and volume are good, so. Alright, and yeah, so everything wrong with Hot Fuzz in 18 minutes or less. Alright, so enough said. Let us now dive right into the CinemaSins video itself. 3, 2, 1, in we go.
Hmm. 34 seconds of logos. Also saying f*** you to epileptics with 20 seconds of flashy rogos. Aside from taking all the time in the world to show Nicholas Angel walking the entire length of the lobby, most of the sins in this movie are done intentionally and executed in a way that is both self-aware and entertaining. That won't stop me from pointing them out, but I will change the sin counter to something more fitting, the spirit of the movie.
Yar, Police Constable Nicholas Angel, boarding school in London.
You sound like you're doing narration.
Yar, academically excelled in theoretical coursework and final year examinations.
This movie is telling me how good this guy is at tests, even though he flips back to the cover after answering only 4 questions.
Yar.
More damning still, the instruction
that's going to be
says
throughout
fill
this
in
video.
each answer with a pencil, and you, sir, appear to be operating a pen.
Yar.
Although, to be fair, the validity of this entire exam could be
boy.
brought into question, since here it says there will be 31 questions, but further down it instructs you to answer 25 questions from Section A and 5 from Section B. I'm no math magician, but I believe that's a total of 30, not 31.
Yar.
Also, the front page says 3
I'm not gonna
hours
do that,
will be allowed for the
'cause
exam.
I can't
The
keep
second
up.
page says 1.5 hours. I love this movie and did not anticipate spending this much time on an exam paper that takes up less than 4 seconds of screen time.
Yar. Well, you've always wanted to transfer to the country. I don't remember
Martin
telling
Freeman?
you that. Yes, you did. You said, I'd love to settle down in the country sometime, Janine.
Unnecessarily exposing your own eavesdropping because you can't memorize a 10-word sentence.
Yar. I'd like to talk to the inspector.
Cop Karens.
Yar. Nicholas,
Oh my
in your
God.
smashing position with a delightful cottage and a lovely
And
little place
Steve,
that I think has won Village of the Year.
Steve Coogan,
I don't
yeah.
know how many times.
I did some digging and discovered that Sanford has never been awarded the prestigious title of Village of the Year, most likely because it doesn't exist. And now I'm questioning whether I should be believing everything I see in the movies.
Yar. If we let you carry on running around town, you'll continue to be
Is that from the movie The Yard? Because
Old Bill Nye
it's been a little while
lays
since
out
I've seen
the
this
very
movie.
illegal and discriminatory logic behind transferring Nicholas to the sticks, an admission which feels risky and unnecessary, unless of course he somehow knew that Nicholas would be willing to set aside the quest for justice that defines him in favor of facilitating this incredible movie.
Yar.
I'm no forensic science magician, but how many people do you need in a room before all those extra bodies start contaminating the thing that you're forensically sciencing?
Yar.
Hello?
Sudden and quite obvious, Kate. No, I didn't stumble upon this knowledge while
Yep.
scrolling IMDb.
Kate Blanchett
Magic.
making a cameo.
We're actually supposed to call it the service now. Official vocab guidelines state that force is too aggressive.
This is like thinking that changing our name to Cinema Cuddles would make the internet less mad at us.
Yar.
Posing for the camera in the rain instead of going to the
Peter
hotel
Jackson
room
makes a
and not being
cameo in
the
this
rain.
too.
Yar.
Checking. But you've always been here.
This is a shining example of how to use gratuitous movie references in a way that is fun, but still simple.
Shining example.
I was very tempted to get
Yeah,
a sin
you've
review
always
for
been
how
here,
legit this
yeah.
crossword puzzle is. I went through the effort for your visual entertainment of checking the clues against the answers and even worked out a few incomplete answers to see if they also would fit, and they do! What a stunning commitment to detail that is completely bollocks when Joyce says,
System of government characterized by extreme dictatorship. 7 across.
because that is clearly the clue for 14 down. Movie ruined.
Yar.
Fascism. Wonderful.
The world every 100 years, apparently.
Yar.
Drinking beer with a straw, bypassing aroma, and increasing your chances of bloating.
Yar.
I'm sure this
Well,
book
what's
has
wrong with
something to
that?
do with
Drinking
something.
from a
For the
straw.
reading, I would
I still
recommend
do
use
that.
of weapons.
Yar.
It's as if I'm experiencing deja vu. Angel's like a man on fire, an unstoppable force, knocking down one crime domino at a time. The Taken and Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yar.
I'm a slasher, and it must be stopped.
And good old Timothy Dalton.
A slasher of prices.
This villain will never exposit why he so hilariously foreshadows his own villainy throughout the movie.
Yar.
There are at least 20 other British curse words not listed on the menu. Like, how much does it cost to be chuffed?
Yar.
That is Sergeant Tony Fisher.
Write boards that throw around such scathing indictments.
Yar. She's a police officer. Being a woman has nothing to do
Oh
with
my
Oh, I don't
god.
know. It comes in handy every so often.
She might not have
I
been
forgot that
Academy
Olivia
Award winner
Colman was
Olivia
in
Colman
this.
yet, but this movie is getting sinned out the arse for reducing future Academy Award winner Olivia Colman to promiscuous token police officer woman.
Yar.
If we don't come down hard on these clowns, we are going to be up to our balls in jugglers.
Some people might like
Jim
that.
Broadbent.
You shouldn't shame me. I mean them.
Yar. It wasn't my intention to upset the apple cart.
Director wanted us to know Nicholas is trying to say he's not an asshole while being a bit of an asshole.
Yar. Because we all sell apples round here, don't we? Why?
Director wanted us to know that Andy is angry at the accusations of being an asshole while being a bit of an asshole.
Yar.
Your dad sells apples, Andy.
Director wanted us to know that Andy's dad has a thriving produce business while being a bit of an asshole.
Yar. But you can't wait to jump into Sergeant Puffwell's grave.
Foreshadowing what turns out to be more of a trip and fall than a jump.
Yar. Why have you got your stab vest on? It's a requirement.
England should really learn from the U.S. and be more liberal with guns. It'd save millions on stab-proof vests.
Yar. Everybody and their mums is packing round there.
Like who?
Farmers.
Who else?
Farmers' mums.
God damn it. I held out 21 minutes, and that's 20 minutes longer than I expected.
Nar.
Bad Boys 2?
Yes. Okay, one sin
Boys
removed.
2.
Giving me too many reasons
And the
to like
backwards of
Nicholas
the
Angel.
R.
What about this guy? Okay, what about this guy? Okay, what's his story?
Chekhov's guys.
Yar.
Chekhov's
Despite
guys?
the sound you just heard, this dull-ass...
You don't
cleaner
mean
doesn't
Pablo
go through to me.
Chekhov.
Yar.
Stacking shelves instead of directing your movie.
Yar.
Michael!
Yar.
Holy sudden
Okay,
from
yeah.
Game of Thrones. It's like every British actor in 2007 was conscripted to be in this movie for fear of being deported to the colonies.
Yar. That's the fridge magnet.
Movie has time to elevate its status while showing us how to pull a joke together.
Yar.
This archway gets confused by all the cutting back and forth and misses its blocking.
Yar.
Listen, I'm not taking a sin off for this amazing fence.
Oh,
jumping
and this is in
callback
all
for
three
Shaun of the
movies
Dead
with them
because that would
jumping
be
over the
excessive, and I
fence.
can already feel Chris bristling at the amount of removals in this. Look, Chris is swollen!
Nar.
But also a big guy momentarily
Okay, another
thinks he has
sin
the
removed.
agility needed to pull off a sick jump only to humorously crash through something cliche.
Yar.
If the can is hollow enough to make
Bullseye.
that noise, then it's not heavy enough to take out a human. Probably why everything following the impact happens off screen.
Yar.
Hi, Danny. Oh, Peter. Do you know this man? Yeah, he's Auntie Jackie's sister's brother's boy.
How many examples is Nicholas going to need before he realizes that everyone knows everyone in this tiny village? I'm guessing 3 more strained punchlines at least.
Yar.
Ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
Or playing firing your gun up in the air and going, ah.
Yar.
This is the most important piece of equipment you will ever own.
It is not.
Yar.
You should think about your
Well, it is in the movie.
Show me.
Danny's flipbook may have more genuine sin than the movie it lives inside.
Uh-oh.
Shooting an unarmed suspect who had their hands up and was clearly surrendering. It is extremely unlikely that a cop dressed like this would be carrying a firearm, especially one seemingly borrowed from Dirty Harry. The suspect appears to be in prison garb, and the overarching narrative never makes it clear whether the movie is about a prison escape or a damning indictment of modern policing's disregard for the ethical precept innocent until proven guilty. Also, human heads do not explode like this.
What just happened?
Drop your weapons, you are surrounded by armed bastards!
We can't accept gifts from someone we've
You
officially
never know
so
what Cinema Sins is gonna do.
jog on.
Look, Chris, swans everywhere!
Nar.
Marcus can't speak.
Another sin removed.
The duck pond.
Moving me to question whether the duck pond
What'd I tell ya?
is
'Cause
geographical
They
or
clearly,
biological.
because they love this movie. But even though they're still gonna sin it.
Pre-gaming your murders and risking getting caught with a bit of careless exposure for the benefit of the camera.
Yar.
Constable official vocab guidelines state we no longer refer to these incidents as accidents, they're now collisions.
But I think I'm going to get in more trouble talking about the collision in my pants.
Yar.
David Bradley.
English.
Yar.
There were so many great people in
Blave of Blave.
this.
Okay, I'll admit that at most one person got that joke, so I will show my work. You see, Danny says, yeah, Roy, which sounds like, yeah, boy, which is a Flavor Flav catchphrase.
Yeah, boy.
And R is 16 letters after B, so I painstakingly counted the 16 letters after F and found it to be V. Hence, Flavor Flav wasn't really a good joke and didn't deserve this much attention. Now, did I tell you why I think The Last Jedi is better than everyone thinks it is? Well, you see.
Yar.
It all started with my Uncle Derek. He was
Skip.
Yar.
I would not want to be here in the morning.
The killer is pointlessly hanging out in the front yard, confident in the knowledge that Nicholas and Danny will be exactly 0 amounts of peripheral vision levels of intoxicated.
Yar.
Oxygenates the room, helps you think, relieves stress. Its needs are simple.
Exposition about your piece, Willie.
Yar.
I won't argue that it was a no-holds-barred, adrenaline-fueled thrill ride, but there's no way you could perpetrate that amount of carnage and mayhem and not incur a considerable amount of paperwork.
Nicholas Angel would be the chief inspector at Cinema Sense.
Yar.
Quite like a little midnight gobble.
Rick, I think the swans have finally overpowered Chris, but who knows how long we have? Jimmy!
Nar.
Another sin removed.
This fun bit of editing tells the story of a man who somehow fired several shots whilst loading the air rifle.
Yar.
I must talk to you about George Merchant. And then,
churchyard, 3 o'clock.
There's no valid reason why they couldn't go somewhere private to talk now, other than the movie's desire to gruesomely kill the messenger. I'm not saying it's impossible to make the stone fall perfectly onto a person from this height, but I don't believe it would be possible without incurring a considerable amount of mass.
And
There's been a terrible accident.
Collision.
couldn't show that,
You don't know
obviously.
how to switch off.
But why would he switch off after 4 deaths in as many days? I know I mean the movie, is desperate to have these two embark on passionate makeup sex, but Nicholas has every right to be switched on here, and so do I. While any typographical errors can be attributed to Tim Messenger's characteristic poor spelling, I don't remember hearing anything about him repeating entire sentences, as we can see here and here. Scanning, reading, highlighting. Excitement? Nicholas is montaging his way to an epiphany, but is highlighting more of Tim's spelling errors really helping the matter? Gosh, nitpickers, alright?
Thanks for the monkey.
What was it?
I want it for you.
Movie has time for this soppy monkey business.
No.
Turns out that Martin Blower got dressed in new
I know her
bypass
too,
road
yeah.
disco, 'cause he was knocking
I mean,
out
I
the
know
drape
almost
of
everybody
Hansel
who was
Got
in this
Gusto.
movie.
This conspiracy summary beats most episodes of Poirot in its ability to break down for the audience exactly what the mystery is and how it relates to the murders. Just a shame that it's coming from the local florist and not this movie's actual Poirot.
Accidents happen all the time.
Collisions.
I chased a suspect from the scene. Innocent people don't run.
Everybody runs, Fletch. I'm glad you asked.
Characters' joy
A
is
nod
enhanced
to
by a rhetorical question that
Minority
allows them to
Report.
show everyone their theory cliche. Villainous slow claps.
Very entertaining, but I rather think you've been watching too many films.
Citizen subscribers.
Something that placed you at the scene of the crime. Perhaps a wound you sustained on a piece of broken glass this very evening.
Okay, he doesn't have the wound in question, but the set dressers went to a lot of trouble putting blood on this glass that Nicholas will never bother to send off for forensic analysis. If only he had some kind of link to a forensic expert that was set up at the start of the movie.
I'm sure the store's security footage will absolve me.
Dragging the entire damn police department with you to arrest a person whose alibi you haven't even bothered to establish, let alone corroborate yet.
Do feel free to spool through.
Yeah, I'm not even mad that this joke was lifted directly from Airplane. Like much of this movie's blatant theory from other films, it was fun and unexpected. Wait, why is that swan wearing Chris's bloodstained shirt? Oh, well, narps abound.
Narp.
Okay.
Movie buffs
But another
everywhere just
similar
ice
move.
creamed their pants.
There it
The
is.
shaky cam
Cornettos.
is just one of those prominent features of the action films that this movie is paying homage to. That doesn't mean I like it here, though.
Hey, Biggin. Playtime's over.
Prefacing your
Yarp.
takedowns with taglines instead of just doing your takedown.
Is everything okay?
Skinner went to the effort of stealing the costume and plot from Scream, but will be undone by forgetting the cool voice changer.
Yarp. Yarp. Narp.
Yarp.
Just pointing out that once you hear the TARDIS, it's hard to hear anything else. You're welcome.
The tenacious Sergeant Angel has been taken care of.
If you're a secret cabal of murderers meeting in secret in full murderous cabal garb, is the
And by
spooky
the
castle
way,
the best place to do
Belloc
so?
from
it's
Raiders
hard
of Lost
to deny how
Ark
perfect
in
the
this
aesthetic
too.
is, but
Yeah.
it is exposing a sinful amount of hubris.
You see, as much as I enjoyed your wild theories, Sergeant, the truth is far less complex.
All of which I will now tell you in great detail because that is what villains do.
We would make Sanford great again.
Hey, this movie came out in 2007. The sin is your inability to not read into everything.
Well, I swear to God you'll be explaining how Danny tripped over and accidentally cut off his own head.
Collisionally. Rumor has it that Tom Cruise showed up to fill in the day they were filming all the running scenes. Apparently, he did all his own stunts. And it was weird because no one asked him to come and none of the footage was used.
Okay.
The Nitwit Wombat Association claims to care about this village, but it is literally crumbling beneath their feet.
A great big bushy beard.
Nicholas could have run in any direction, but manages to fall into a pit of evidence confirming everything he's just been told. This leads to having every piece of clever foreshadowing spelled out to us via flashbacks, which moves the entire plot from beautifully crafted narrative to now you're just showing off.
He's not Judge Judy and Executioner.
Hot Fuzz, Judge Judy and Executioner would have been the perfect title for a sequel. It will get us in until that movie is made. The very same two movies that Nicholas watched with Danny just happen to be sat side by side in this random gas station, meaning their relationship and the salvation of Sanford can be attributed to one movie night and this bargain bin bullshit. She reloads after one shot, leaving me to wonder when and what she killed before taking a shot at Sergeant Angel. Chief Inspector Frank didn't think it was necessary to alert anyone at the station that Nicholas would not be returning to work, or if he did, to arrest him with extreme prejudice.
Want to do something useful?
Expecting any kid under any circumstances to say yes to this. The village, hyper-concerned about its image, still has a poster up for the Romeo and Juliet adaptation that everyone described as god-awful. Oh yeah, and the 2 cast members are dead. Probably an equally good reason to take it down. Sure is cinematically handy that the main cast of the night wanking arseholes all happen to be out and about in the streets as Nicholas
There he
trots
is,
along,
Belloc.
instead of any of them being at work or on the bog. Riding your horse the wrong way down a clearly signposted one-way street. You're still a policeman, officer of the law, Nicholas.
Morning.
The Numpty Wally army are very quick to escalate from clandestine murders to an all-out OK corralling in the broad daylight. Having a fucking scope and the high ground is still not enough to penetrate the hero's protective shield of no way does this movie kill off anyone we care about. Inviting kids into an active war zone.
I brought you into this world. I think it's rather fitting I should be the one to take you out of it.
Not really. Without you, he would have been born all the same. What you did was increase the chances of a successful and safe birth for the child and mother. So it would be more fitting if you provided medical support for someone else who was
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to
'cause he's
Danny.
the
This is a
dad.
logical fallacy, and it severely undervalued his mom's contribution. God damn, that shotgun cocking was so gratuitous it required no less than 6 cuts. I don't know what your average pub table is made of in England, but I doubt it's machined from a tree that evolved to be this bulletproof. Nicholas makes the odd choice of taking aim here and then deciding that pulling a wanted is the best way to shoot down this conveniently hanging bear trap. Super weird, considering pulling a wanted won't be a thing for another year. Is the movie ready to reconcile with the fact that these people aren't zombies and that Nicholas is maiming and, in this case, killing people without any kind of official backing? I think not.
Help us bring an end to this absurd story.
The movie thinks that by admitting its absurdity at the end, it will receive some sort of absolution. Not today. R.I.P. Summerfield. Our token British writer told me a generation of people thought this movie alone would be a gateway to a more cooperative future for the brand. But alas, no. I don't understand what I just said, so I'm going to assume it was some clever wordplay, feed them biscuits and gravy, and move on. I haven't thought about what would happen if I fell into a freezer of frozen peas, but I can't say immediate yarcolepsy would ever be a contender. Several minutes of chasing, shooting, and chasing, and nary a single tire is tickled.
Stay back, or the ginger nut gets it.
Gingivitis spreaders.
What's your name?
Aaron Aarons.
Sorry.
If you don't get that one, just watch the movie again. Hell, you can watch it 2
Yeah.
times back to back and it would still be fun. Oh, the Swans are finished with Chris and now they're after me. Chris lives on in Swan form. This point break payoff that we saw coming a mile away. This Bad Boys 2 payoff that we saw coming a mile away.
You can't show Timothy
Expecting me to
Dalton's
believe that the man
demise.
with a spike in his
Oh,
mouth
you
was taken to a
blurred
police
it.
mugshot session before receiving little more than a single bandage worth of medical attention. Everyone except Weaver survives this intentionally over-the-top explosion that should have incinerated, liquefied, or otherwise deconstructed their physical structure into its component parts because, as the movie admitted earlier, the story is absurdly fun. I mean, sinful.
Hope these are okay.
A beloved character's death fake-out as a sickly sweet cherry on top of your textbook action movie ending Sunday cliche. If it isn't already obvious, I love this movie. God damn, does it not know how to end? Also, movie eventually ends.
Yeah. Wow.
Signed in triplicate, sent in, sent back, queried, lost, found, subjected to public inquiry.
Nicholas Angel. Oh,
Mind freak.
You're a what? Bond, James Bond.
Of
Police
course.
officer being a woman has nothing to do with it.
You stick and the cakes you make look like it's falling out some shit house.
You took my sonar concept and applied it to every phone in the city.
Mr. Skinner,
Is it
do you mind
Batman?
telling me how you
Morgan
know
Freeman?
the
I
identity
don't
of the persons involved?
Whoever she was must have scared the living daylights out of her.
guns. Lots of guns.
What do you mean by this one?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
The way you spell.
Yeah.
Emma pulled you off.
The M word,
Korg.
Nicholas. There hasn't been a...
Motherfucker, rich son for 20 years.
Little did he realize, the world was to hear more from the phantom raspberry blower of old London town.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
What's that from?
You've got red on you.
We should get down there.
How? Aim for the bushes.
The Bad Boys.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Okay. Wow. Again, wow. That was something. Jeez Louise. A good chunk happened in this one. Literally. Alright, so that was Everything Wrong with Hot Fuzz in 18 minutes or less. What have I said before? And I will continue to say this. You never know what to expect when it comes to Cinema Sins. A good chunk happened, and wow, because, you know, yar, and a 1 minute of, you know, the animation that Nick Frost's character did. Golly. Hey, at least, like, a good chunk of sins were removed. And what did I say? Because, you know, it's obvious that the guys at Cinema Sins love and respect this movie. Yeah. But yeah, just everything that Cinema Sins had to say about Hot Fuzz, very interesting. But, on the bright side, removing a good chunk of sins, you know? And, I mean, of course, I laughed at a good chunk of what was going on, but yeah, mostly that was for the yar. And yeah, I remember now, because yeah, yar being in Hot Fuzz, and it was pretty funny, because when, like, you know, the characters are saying yar, and the narrator, and then removing a sin. This, you know, that was funny. Yeah, and I should have expected, like, for the audio outtake / after credits, I should have expected, you know, and how did it not occur to me that, you know, they'd probably play an audio clip of, you know, or something of James Bond, and literally, because, you know, Bond, James Bond, because, duh, Timothy Dalton, and, I think it would have been too obvious, because when, yeah, the Cinema Sins narrator brought up, Scream, you know, because of the walkie-talkie thing in Hot Fuzz, I think that would have been too obvious if they did do that in the audio outtake / after credits, you know, the whole, what's your favorite scary movie? Yeah, that would have been too obvious. But yeah, it's, you know, still would have been funny if they did that. But yeah. And yeah, just other things that Cinema Sins had to say about Hot Fuzz. Well, just, you know, that's Cinema Sins for you. And even though, because hey, for this one, they did have some positive things to say, removing a good chunk of sins, etc. Just yeah. Just overall, the Cinema Sins video itself of them covering / sinning Hot Fuzz in 18 minutes or less, that was funny, enjoyable, all of the above, yeah. And, you know, because, like I've also said, the Cinema Sins videos are for our laughs and for our entertainment, even though that, yeah, we can agree on some things that they nitpick and so on, but still, you know, but we can also come to disagree with what they say. And that especially goes for me, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, again, Everything Wrong with Hot Fuzz in 18 minutes or less was pretty good, funny, entertaining, and man, a good chunk happened in this one. Yeah. Okay, so what about you guys? What did you think of the Cinema Sins video itself of them covering / sinning on Hot Fuzz, one of the 3 films in the Cornetto trilogy? I'm sure a good chunk of you, and if you have seen the Cornetto trilogy. Which is your favorite of the 3, or if you like the whole trilogy? And if Hot Fuzz is one of your favorites, what are some of your favorite moments, and how you reacted to the first time you watched this movie, your first experience watching this, and if it was one of the first of the 3 Cornetto films that you watched? I don't know, because does it matter, like, which one you start with first? I think for me, Hot Fuzz was my first, but My first of the Cornetto trilogy, but, you know, it's been a long time. I can't remember, but I mean, yeah. Yeah, and anything you agree and disagree with what CinemaSins had to say, and, were you not expecting, like, what happened in this? Because, again, a good chunk happened in this CinemaSins video, just, you know, yar. Yeah, but anyway, so, yeah, just overall, what do you think of the CinemaSins video itself? And with what I've had to say, my reaction to it, and yeah, what did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. And with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the CinemaSins video of Everything Wrong with Hot Fuzz in 18 minutes or less. More reaction videos are coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I will see you guys in the next video / reaction. Take care, and until I react to the other two, CinemaSins videos, like, you know, reacting to the rest of the Cornetto trilogy, you know, you get the drill. Peace out. Yar.